Before it was, then it turned into King Kong. I still play on Serato, play on CDJs, but I can play on any concussive controller. So, and you're just like, yeah, and you're just like, yo, let me play off of it. So you don't want to be in a situation where you rock up to a spot.
Service, so keep focus. You circus. I'm out to school you.
What was it back in Latinova, right? Before it was, then it turned into King Kong. No, it turned into Kong.
Yeah.
So back when I used to get booked at Latinova, man, I would bring my own turntable just because I was like a purist on that, you know? And then eventually I was just like, man, what am I doing, man? Let me just play on CDJs. So I still play on Serato, play on CDJs, but I can play on anything, man. Controller, CDJs, turntables, anything, man. Like, because a lot of times when you get booked for stuff, sometimes I'll bring my own mixer, but you show up and you just don't know the state, like what you're gonna be playing on, man. I showed up and you got CDJ 100, you know, and you're just like, fuck, man, I can cuss it, right? It's on my radio.
Yeah,
right?
most there.
So, and you're just like, yeah, and you're just like, yo, let me play off of it. So you don't want to be in a situation where you rock up to a spot and you're booked to play, and then the system that they have you can't play on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just want to be prepared for everything. I'll play on just about anything, man. Yeah.
I mean, and like, I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but then, ever since you've been in the industry, you only dropped one song. It's brand new.
I did, man. Only because that's not, as of now, that's not really the direction I'm trying to go, man, in terms of dropping singles. Because, man, I've got like a lot of other focus, man. There's stuff that I'm trying to share as well. I'm bringing a dude out at the end of this month. And you know, we're always working towards other stuff. So there's like a lot of that type of stuff. So it's like I feel like had I gotten into procurement business, get them on the TVs, child presenter and stuff like that. Like for me, I see a lot of these kids who did this in Joburg, and look at them now, and I'm thinking to myself, do I want to do, if I have kids and I have that opportunity, would I do that? And the question is, I don't know. And the thing is with Crazy Lou, again, man, I got mad love for this dude. But the one thing I learned about him was, you know, he came up TV, right? Yeah. TV, then he was Josie. And then after that, he moved on. And I was thinking to myself, you know, a lot of these kids who are in entertainment, they peak in terms of like professional and even in terms of fame when they're like 21, 22 years old. Or even worse, when they're 18. And
remember that big Percy?
Yeah,
with the afro.
Didn't he become a rapper too or something? No, whatever.
And like we just forgot about him. He was like that guy. I love you, daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy.
Something like So my thing is like with Crazy Lou, man. He always was. This is after he left Josie. He was always hollering at me with these ideas about how he had this plan, he had this new song. Yeah. But it was all about him getting back to the level that he was 3 years before, 4 years before. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, you know what? You as a professional, you never want to be in a situation where you're 25, 26 years old and you're trying to get back to where you were at 20. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You need to be on that black coffee model where you 40 and you peaking at 40. You're still going to be better at 45 than you was at 40. And that's a problem with this industry. And it's already bad enough for rappers. Like I look at the guys I dealt with, you know, like Reason or El Tito, all these guys, man, they all peaked out 26, 27. They're all trying to like get back to where they were at 26, 27, while they need to be on that black coffee shit where every year is better and better and better. You're not trying to get back to anything. You're moving forward, you know?
And what you're saying is very important because like I remember I was watching this interview, the way, you know, and, like he was very honest and open about it because I remember he said when all these kids started coming up, like he started having anxieties and shit. It's like, so this is what happens to you. Like today, like everyone's coming to your show, and then tomorrow there's a new kid in the block, and like it's like you ain't shit. So like he was saying like the problem, it's not about with these kids. The problem is what you're saying, Guti, the OGs. Yeah. Now, because like they were the booming today, but like now it's 5 years later. Yeah. You're not saying, how can I invest in this and grow with this? No doubt. They want to bash that. They want to like be like, how can I go back to how I was 3 years back?
No doubt.
And like that's not how it works. I feel like people should understand, Guti. It's life. It's always growing. It's always going to change. Like there's always going to be that sick kid with a new idea that's going to change the whole culture.
Absolutely.
Or that new group, you know.
And the youth drives the culture.
Exactly.
And the youth wants something that's new and fresh. And like the one thing that we said is like even if you're a dope rapper but you've been around for a while, it's like Jordans, man. Like Jordans are dope. Oh, really? Jordans are dope. But what's doper than Jordans? The new Jordans. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want to be. You can only be the new Jordans once. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it is tough, man. Like just trying to figure out how to fit that space. And one of the things is like whenever I hear rappers or whatever, or artists in general hit me up on something like, yo man, I'm having a comeback, this and this and this, and I'm like, ooh, good luck. Like there's only been like really one rapper to me who's had, okay, maybe two. The only rapper that's had like a comeback is Deleuze. He was the only dude that we wrote off and came back.
But like I feel like the lesbian trapping before we even knew trap.
He was, but like at one point, man, like nobody, man, everybody forgot about it. He came back. No one else has really done that. You could maybe say Maraza, but the thing is, people didn't really know about him. So when he came back, people thought he was new. Like I'm just saying, the key to success is don't have a comeback, because you should never leave.
Yeah.
Once you have to have a comeback, it's late. You know, it's late for you.
And what do you think drives this? Would you say it's the internet, or is it the team that you have around you that causes you to fade away and to allow somebody else? Or
man, it's tough, man. It's a couple things, man. Like I've seen people fall off in a lot of different ways, man. There's like a lot of things that can stop you, man. It can be drugs, alcohol, it can be laziness, it can be girls, it can be just, you know, at the same time, it's like, all right, cool. To get into the people that make money in hip hop or music in general is like 1%. So to get into that 1% of artists is hard, but to stay in it, and now once you're in that 1%, you're not competing with the 99%. You're competing with the 1%. So a lot of people have the talent to get there, but they don't have the talent to last, or they don't have the work ethic. And it's also like, what do you want out of this? Yeah. Some people just want to make enough money, get a BM, maybe like cop a house, get a little bit of fame, and once they get to that point, they're not as hungry anymore. Yeah. You know, but if you look at like a Casper or an AKA, it doesn't matter how big they get. Yeah. They're gonna want more, and they're gonna be willing to put in more work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's the same thing. I'm a big basketball fan, so a lot of shit comes out to like analogies with me. So if you look at like a Kobe Bryant, Kobe on like a physical level or a skill level, he's athletic and he's skilled. Yeah. But everybody in the NBA is athletic and skilled. Yeah. What set Kobe apart? The Mamba mentality. He was the best player on his team, but he was the last one out the gym, first one in the gym, getting up extra shots. That's what pushed him. That's what pushed him to make him better. And that's the thing is also in hip hop and rap, man. There's a lot of people with enough talent to get into that 1%, 5%. But then now, after that, are you still willing to work harder now that you made it than you did when you came up? Or are you going to be comfortable now that you got girls, now you got a little bit of money, are you going to start cruising? And you can't cruise, because when you start cruising, there's kids below you that had that hunger that you had, and they're working twice as hard. And at the same time, man, age is against you. Like, trends change, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's trapped out, and you see like older rappers trying to do trap, and it just doesn't sound right, man. Because the thing is like, if you 28, 29, 30, and you come from a different generation of hip-hop, you're not going to be able to do the new generation as good as a 17 or 18-year-old kid who lives that life, who's about that life, who loves trap, who eats, breathes, has trap in his blood. They're going to do it better than you, you know? Yeah. Because it's natural.
I mean, like, as a DJ that toured, like, around the world and international, like, I would like to know, would see, like, you've performed in Europe, you've performed in Japan, like, performing again in South Africa. I want to know, because, like, a lot of people are saying, like, the industry in South Africa is not doing that good as much as, like, the scene overseas, you know? So I would like to know, like, the difference in crowd. Like, how's the crowds in the European compared to here?
It's different. All right, so, you know, when I get booked for shows in Europe, man, sometimes I don't know what I'm getting when I show up, you know? Like, in South Africa, it's consistent. Because when they book me, they know me, the crowd knows me, I show up. I already know them. I'm like, yo, hey, I mean, I don't know them, but I'm like, all right, cool. I know what y'all want, and it's easy to go. I might go a couple different directions, but at the same time, it's easier, you know.
On most occasions.
Yeah. So when I go to Europe, it depends, man. I compare it to like a first date. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the shows that I get booked for, the promoter knows me, the DJ knows me, they book me. There'll be people in the crowd. I might pull like 10, 15 people to the show, but the other 95% don't know me. You know? Yeah. So I call it a first date. So I don't really know what it is that they into. And like, crowds are mixed. Sometimes I'll have like an all black crowd. Sometimes I'll have like an 80% white crowd, you know, and you don't know what they want. So I compare it like a first date in the sense that you go out on a first date. You're like, yeah, what are you into? You into this? Yeah. All right, cool. I'm into this. Are you into this? Oh, you ain't into this. Okay, let me go a different direction. So that's what I do musically. I throw out a couple songs. I'm like, all right, cool. They weren't feeling that. Yeah. Let me switch quickly. Now I throw out a different song, and I'm like, all right, word, they're feeling that. So if they're into that, then they're probably into this too. Yeah. So like I said, it's a first date. So we don't really know what we're into at the beginning, but by the end of the date,
going somewhere.
Yeah, we figured it out. We're gonna have a good time together. You know what I'm saying?
And then your analogy, like, are you more about when you play? Do you resonate with the crowd first, or do you play what do you feel like at the
Man, you know, I like one of the things I battle as an artist and as a DJ is like, man, I get like heavy anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Just in life in general, and like, and the DJing it like really compounds it. So there's times, man, like before gigs, I'm just like can't breathe.
Seriously.
Like I'm so nervous. It's like rough, you know. So I figured out a system that helps to minimize that. And one of the main rules that I have that I go by is I always get to my gigs an hour before. So what I do is I get to the gig at least an hour before. That gets me time to come in, deal with the promoter, get seated where I need to get seated, get my hospitality served out. So I'm sipping on a drink or two.
Yeah.
I'm listening to, I'm going up, setting up my shit. I can check out the system, make sure everything's good. I'm listening to what the DJ's playing before me. So the thing is, a first date is easier when I'm already seeing how they're reacting.
Yeah.
You know, like me, my anxiety is real bad. It's like when I show up and now I get there, now I want to drink, but we're trying to get the promoter, but at the same time I'm supposed to be on stage in 10 minutes, and at the same time I've got to set up my shit, and at the same time I haven't paid attention to what the people are saying, and at the same time my crew doesn't have a place to sit, so I've got to organize that. That's when I'm just like, yo, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. So then I get like heavy anxiety. But if I show up, I'm chilled, that helps to minimize it. So one of the things is like, I try and listen to the DJ before me. I mean, there's times like schedule-wise that permits that you rock up 5 minutes, 10 minutes before, and you just have to jump straight into it. A lot of DJs do that, and they're cool with it.
Yeah.
But me, I like an hour before. Even if I'm comfortable, I like to show up an hour before, because I'm from the old school in terms of like the way I was raised as a DJ, and one of those rules is you don't play music that the dude before you played. So I like to get there and listen to what the guy before me plays, just to make sure I don't double up on stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know, like, you know, some places, some audiences will be like, well, who is this guy? We just heard this song.
Yeah.
But some places, man, I can go to Sumo and play the exact same set that is the dude before me, and people don't give a fuck. They'll still turn up the same.
Sure.
It just depends, man. But either way, I don't like to play music that the dude before me played.
And then like, do you chop it up? If I ask, like, are you on that boat of like, you know what, I don't mind trap music, because a lot of OGs, like some of them say, you know,
I like trap, man. Trap is cool. It just depends. My thing is like, all right, another thing that I decided was like when I was coming up, you know, as you get older, the one trap that I didn't want to find myself in is every generation thinks that their music is better than the kids. You know what I'm saying? Think about when you're driving in your car and your uncle, you're playing music and your uncle's there, or your mom or your dad's there, and your mom's like, what is this noise? This is our generation.
Yeah.
This is music.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that for my generation now too. So the cats like that I grew up with are on the boom bap stuff. When they hear the trap, they're like, what is this? This isn't even rap.
Yeah.
You know, what we listen to was rap. These guys aren't, you know, nice lyrically. I was like, man, if I want to stay relevant as a DJ and in the culture, I need to listen to everything, and I can't be closed-minded to it. So everything that comes in, I listen to, and I don't play anything I don't like.
Yeah.
If I think the song is trash, I don't play it. But I give everything an honest listen, and there's a lot of trap that I like. You know what I'm saying? So I play what I like. You know, I sift through the music, play what I like. Don't play what I you know, I don't, whatever I don't like, I don't play. But I play a lot of trap. I love trap, man. Trap's cool. I'm not gonna play the garbage, but yeah.
I mean, like, Ellie, before we speaking about trap, like, you spoke about anxiety, you know?
Yeah.
Like, your anxiety still kicks in now. Like, I want to know, Guti, like, because now you've accomplished, like, do you think, like, is there a point where in your career as an artist, like, you overcome anxiety, like, and start being confident? Because like, no. It's just anxiety throughout. Because like,
it won't happen, man. Like, and I'll tell you, because the thing is, like, yo, it's petrifying, man. Sometimes, like, again, when you have to play, like, especially if I'm in like New York or LA, and I'm already just intimidated because I'm like, yo, this is New York and LA, and there's 1,000 people out here. Oh, I'm so nervous. There's no way I'm gonna not be nervous, man. I'm still gonna have anxiety. But you know, the thing is like, there's confidence in it. Like, once I get going, you know. And I'll tell you one thing that like that it's helped me with is it's conditioned me to not be crippled by anxiety in a sense, or nervousness. So what I mean by that is that every time I do these gigs, I'm mad nervous. But at the same time, I force myself to go on there. I get up, kill it, and afterwards I'm like, yo, what was I worried about? I'm dope. I forget who I am. I'm dope. I think that to myself. But at the same time, I had to get over the anxiety to get up there. So what that is I do that so much because I play so much. It conditions me in life. So that means anytime I'm nervous about something in life, when it's not DJing, I'm conditioned to be like, yo, tuck your skirt in, do this shit. So that's what it helps me in life. I'm just like, all right, nervousness and anxiety doesn't stop me from other stuff outside of DJing from accomplishing, because I'm so conditioned to pushing it aside.
And then tell me about in the Netherlands, I heard you were doing international relations.
Yeah.
So like, are you in the concept of like using that that education, or like for now like you're taking a backseat for now?
Man, it's been taking a backseat for a while, but I come from a traditional family. My father's, from Japan. We were raised a certain type of way, and that was to not really, like, entertainment's not really something, like, creativity's not something that was really pushed on us. So, I went to school, got a bachelor's degree economics, then went and got a master's degree international relations. And, I was going to go down that traditional path until eventually I somehow became a DJ, and that's dope. But what I'll say is the main thing, the first point I want to get across is, like, education will never hurt you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand people that want to bounce from school early, and and school is also not for everybody as well. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just, it's some people not university. That's not for them. But at the same time, what I'm saying is like learning and not gaining knowledge, and at the same time learning to think. I feel like university in a lot of ways taught me how to think differently. So it'll never hurt you. It might not help you, but it'll never hurt you. And I feel like the university and the school and the international relations, working for the International Criminal Court, what it did was, man, like it got my writing better, taught me a bit more about professionalism.
Yeah.
It made it so that, like, and just like from an academic point of view, how to present, and like also just like having the degrees and stuff like that. I'm never intimidated, man. Like when I was at the ICC, man, I started off as an intern.
The Hague.
Yeah, in The Hague. I started off as an intern, and there was people from Oxford, Cambridge, Yale, Harvard, NYU. We were all interns, and then after the 6-month program ended, they all went home, and I got offered a job. So what that? So my point is like,
shout out to Pushing Patience.
Yeah. But my point is like now whenever I go to present, and I presented in all time, like in the boardroom of Coca-Cola for the Sprite Uncontainable tour. I pitched that, and we got it. All types of places, man. I can walk in there and see these guys, these ad agency guys, all these guys with all these degrees or whatever, and I'm not intimidated. I'm like, man, I'm just as smart as you guys are. Like that's one of the things is you'll see guys who are nice on the street level, great artists, but then when it comes to like professionalism and a business side, you can see that they struggle a bit. They don't know quite how to present themselves, and for me, I'm good street level or corporate level, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
And speaking about brands, I had like you in 2012. I'm not sure if not 2015. You made a collaboration with Play Energy Drink.
Yeah.
Was it like the tutorial you dropped for DJing, or you were shooting something?
No, that was for the Play Heroes campaign. So that was, they took it was like 8 creatives, like up and coming creatives, and then they put some funding behind us. That was like my come up, man. Like in terms of, I was really, really close to giving up at that point,
Seriously,
man. Like, well, I'd moved to Joburg, 2011. I was done with Cape Town, moved to Joburg. I was dating a girl out here. Like, we literally broke up, like, the day I got here. I had to move out. I was homeless. I had to stay at a friend's spot for a while. And then we moved. I hustled this. It's crazy, like, how I hustled this mansion in Northcliffe. Like, we had this ridiculous ass pace, and we were paying like 10,000. It was like a 40,000 rent. Like, it was crazy. But it was like me, this girl named Zaki Ibrahim, who's a singer, a guy named Julian, she's in Canada now, I think. Man, she's doing well. Julian from who's the founder of Bhutan, and my business partner Reiko, and we were all living in this ridiculous, crazy house.
So much were you taking out, like each?
What's that?
Like you're saying, like you combine the money, like to
we're paying like 2,500 each. We had like, and then we all had our own bedroom, and we had like 5 more bedrooms, man. Like, I mean, there was like a guest. It was crazy. But we were living in this crazy house, but we didn't have no money. But anyways, man. Long story short, the landlord was supposed to go to Canada. He worked for like Sasol or something like that.
Yeah.
He came back, was living in, there's a 2-bedroom cottage on the premises. He ended up getting murdered. We found the body.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man. And then at this point now, like, nothing was happening in Joburg for us. Like, the only events that we had was Cool Out in Joburg, Cool Out in Cape Town. At that point, we started doing stuff at Kitchener's, 2011.
Yeah.
We started that Bromfontein movement, man.
Seriously,
Nobody
man.
was going to Kitchener's at those days, man. And, I was just like, yo, what am I doing out here, man? I'm broke. Just found our landlord dead. I'm homeless again. And I went to America. Yeah, because... well, because when I first moved to Joburg and I broke up with this chick, I didn't have shit. So I was, again, no place to stay. Just had to stay with like whoever I could at that time, man. People just let me sleep on the couch. I was bouncing around.
Yeah.
And then I went back to the States, and then I was there, and everybody could just see I was down, and people were just like, you know what, man, maybe this music thing ain't working out. And I was like, all right, you know what, man, I'm going to go back and give it one more year, and then see what happens. But yeah, maybe you're right, man. What am I doing chasing this music thing? So I got back, got off the plane in Joburg, Turned on my phone, and it's like, yeah, you got voicemails. So I pick it up, and it's a voicemail from this dude from this agency hitting me up about play.
Yeah.
And then there's another message from Ken Zero on there. He's like, yo, Akio,
Oh.
we've been trying to get a hold of you. You need to call this dude now. So I called this dude, and he's like, yo, cool, let's set up a meeting. Flew to Cape Town, had the meeting, and then, yeah, they put me on that campaign. And then from there, it boosted my profile. They put a lot of money into Cool Out.
Yeah.
That got me an opportunity to pitch the Sprite campaign, got that. That got me, and then I also got Reason on that, so that was his come up. And then from there, man, shit just changed. But I was this close, man. But it's crazy, like you're just like, you know, maybe this shit ain't gonna work, and then you check your voicemail, and then everything changes.
That one call that
Yeah.
changed your life. So would you say like adversity, like was preparing you for what you receiving today? Or
Yeah,
I want
man.
to know about that because like you are alone, so many things are happening at that
Yeah.
time. Like
how do you keep pushing?
perseverance, man.
Like the parents are
You
telling
know-
you like bringing shit every month.
It's a willingness to not give up, man. Because the one thing I can say is like when you're in an industry that's not like normal, you know what I'm saying? My thing is like, if you're gonna be an accountant, that's cool. You can be an accountant. Even if you're an average ass accountant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're still gonna do all right.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna hire you. You're gonna
you
do all
know,
right.
one thing you're
It's an
gonna get
accountant,
paid.
man. You're gonna be all right. Because there's room for average accountants. There's
Yeah.
even jobs for below average accountants, but there's no jobs for below average rappers. There's no jobs for below average DJs.
On the real.
Yeah, either you good or you not.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no space for that. So, you know, for me, the adversity thing is like, you hear these stories, man, like about how long people waited until they made it.
Yeah.
And as an artist or as a creative, at some point, almost everybody gives up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's about not giving up. But at the same time, there's people you want to tell them, yo, you need to give up.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's a fine line between not giving up, but putting in the work and having the talent, to also just being stubborn and not giving up for something that's never going to
That's not
happen.
gonna
And I can't
right.
tell you what it is for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of times where, you know, the people that end up making it are the people that the same thing that happened to them happened to a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
But all those other people were like, yo, fucking, I'm done with this shit.
But
And then that person stayed, and then he made it.
Because now you're saying good to you know what you're saying. You're making a very good point. But then I feel like, you know, for a lot of people, you wouldn't know, because like as you were saying, at one point of in your life, you were feeling like, damn, is this really shit made for me? Because like, you know, like when you start, like everyone's telling you like, dog, you dope, and you know you dope. But like as time goes on, like you start losing hope, because now shit is not happening the way you want it to happen, you know. So I'm saying like for a lot of people, for a lot of cats out there, you know, how would you know? You know, like sometimes you know you got what it takes, but then how do you know, like, should I fucking give up? Like,
It's a
like
tough one, man.
you know?
I think one of the first things you have to do is you have to look at yourself, and that is like, you know, one of the things I can say about myself is even going back to the Cape Town days, even the broke days, man, I treated this job of DJing and Cool Out as a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I woke up, I wasn't the dude sleeping to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, people hitting me up, are you still awake? I was waking up, okay, not like 8 or 9, but I was like, by 10 o'clock, I'm out there working, getting it done, treating it like that. So my thing, and just pushing, man, and always coming up with ideas. If things aren't working, you know, you don't keep doing the same thing that ain't working if it's not working. So I think that, like, I see a lot of people who are like, yo, I'm about this hip-hop life, this rap life, this DJ life, but I see them and they're not actually doing anything, man. They're like, yo, I'm quitting my day job, I'm focusing on this, but they're not focusing on it. They just smoking weed, playing FIFA all day, and they're not putting in the work to make it work. You know what I'm saying? You have to treat it like that, man. The thing is like, for me to be a successful DJ, there are so many people that are trying to DJ, man. There's so much competition out there. And from a talent point of view, I feel like I'm better than most.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
On the real.
yeah, but most people are, it's more or less the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are playing the same shit. So how are you differentiating yourself? Either you're working harder or you're building your brand better. Those are the two ways. If the music is the same, there's only two other ways that you're differentiating. You know?
Can we take a break?
Like, very, very, like we should, man. Let's bump it up a little bit, man. Bump it up! Bump it up! Official Major World. Hit us up. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, man. Don't get it twisted. Even on YouTube, it's a vibe. Down a hashtag. DJ Akio in the building. Official Major World in the building. Hippie in the building. That way. That's what's up. That's the truth, man. Hashtag vibes.
Vibes.
Yo, Biggie, solid, man. Biggie, solid. Yeah, but 50, that was my song. You know, I've been playing it. Yeah, hey,
Boom. Yeah, it's cool. I can fuck with it, man. It's cool. Yeah,
so it's guaranteed you might play it on
Yeah, man, send it through to me.
Yeah. And the song that we were playing before that song, it was A-Team
by Mac Clint, man. Orlando West in the stew right now. Man, I want to reflect on that, man, on Twitter. I'm a humble dude, man. Hashtag standardization on fleek. Brother Akio in the stew. Hit us up. Official measure on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Akio Kawahito. Hashtag, man. Brother from the States. You know, like a lot of people. I'm not sure if a lot of people know about that side of you from the States in terms of like your upbringing, because one side Japanese and the other side is American.
My mom's Dutch, man. She's from the Netherlands, yeah. But they met in America.
Hence the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You go in that side.
Yeah.
And then like, tell me, you as a you as an immigrant, like, because there's the irony of like you did international relations.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been assisting you regarding wherever you're at, because in SA, like, you look different. In the Netherlands, you look different.
Yeah.
You know, you in the States, plus you're from Texas, and Texas is all about
Tennessee.
You know,
But yeah, it's the South. It's the South. Yeah.
You know.
But you know what I would say? Like, all right, man. I was having this conversation earlier, but like, it's like those things that were like hard for me as a kid, like, helped to acclimate me to where I'm at today. So my thing is like, man, I've always been like different. So even like in the States, man, like I was the Asian kid, and then eventually people thought I was Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Then when I'm in Japan, like people aren't quite sure because I'm mixed. You know what I'm saying? In the Netherlands, I obviously look completely different. So it's like me being different, man. I'm never uncomfortable. You can throw me anywhere, man, and I'm cool. And I look at it in a sense of another way. So last year when I was on tour out there, and a lot of them had never been overseas before, or even outside of South Africa.
Seriously, brother.
So now they out in Europe, and you could see cats were like just like like very on the back foot, timid. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? And they were like, yo, man, this is the first time in my life that I'm a minority, that I'm surrounded by white people, and I'm just like, oh shit. I didn't think about that. Minority, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere I go, I'm a minority. There's like, my brother, the only place, he lived in Hawaii for a little while. He was like, yo, man, that's the only place I lived where I felt like I was normal. Like, people didn't look at me and think that I was different. Everybody thought I was a local. So I was just like, okay, that's kind of how it is. So, man, for me, it's made me cool with just like, you can put me anywhere, man. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, yeah.
And then like when you're in Japan, they didn't call you, was it in
You won.
King of Gauteng.
King of Gauteng.
Yeah, been nominated for the DJ of the Year twice, but haven't won. Yeah.
I mean, like, where you at right now at the? Because like you've accomplished a lot of things. You've worked with a lot of brands. Nokia.
No doubt.
You were once an ambassador for Nokia.
Yeah.
I mean, like, would you say like you everything is going good? Like, you feel like you made it, or?
Nah. I mean, I feel like I'm getting close, man. I feel like I'm at the best point of my career right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I still got more dreams, and I've got like big ideas, like, and things that I want to do. I have a lot to accomplish, man. I'm like, again, one of those dudes. It's like, again, when we're talking about that hunger, you know what I'm saying? It's like, at what point do you not want more? You know? And I think for me, man, there's not really a place where I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get here. Once I get here, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not like that. Once I get there, I'm gonna. There's more stuff that I want to do, and it may or may not even be in music or hip hop, man. I don't know, but like I've never been a person who has been comfortable with where I'm at, man. I've always had this drive to like want to do something more or just progress, man. I'm just not happy with like looking at this year and being like, hey, where was I last year? Last year I was in the exact same space. Yo, that's messed up. To me, that's an L. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't look back on the year before and then you're like, yo, I'm in the same space or worse. It should always be a step forward. Yeah.
And can you play ball, then?
Basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must come, man. Yeah, I play now, but like that was big for me, man. Growing up, it was two things: hip hop and basketball. Those are the things that, like, as an Asian kid in Tennessee, that like gave me like some sort of identity.
Okay.
So I still play, man. I play once a week. We have this indoor court at Sacred Heart. We do a run there, and then I play out at Zoo Lake as well, man. I try and get it in as much as possible because like the game did a lot for me.
And then like which franchise like are you about?
You know, like growing up, I was an Indiana Pacers fan because I was a huge Reggie Miller fan. And then since then, and it hasn't really been about the organization, it's been more about the players.
Okay.
So I kind of support the teams that I like the players on. So I like Russ Westbrook, so I support Oklahoma City. I'm a LeBron fan, so wherever he goes, I'm rolling with him. And
Steph Curry.
yeah, I mean, I'd like Steph Curry. I like everybody on the Warriors team, but they also just they're too good, man. They're a cheat code. I don't like how stacked they are because it's messed up the parity in the NBA. I think that no team should be that good. You shouldn't have 5 All-Stars, you know what I'm saying, on a team. Like that's just ridiculous. But I really respect and love his game. I just cheer against them because they too good. You know, Dallas beat them, San Antonio beat them. They weren't like the juggernauts. Like you got on Golden State right now, they got 2 MVPs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 2 in the last 5 years, they got two of those MVPs. And then you got Klay Thompson and Boogie Cousins and Draymond Green. It's just they're too good, you know. Like, but at the same time, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with KD next year, and like. But it's cool, man. This year's playoffs has been really interesting, man. To see Giannis his rise, to see the rise of like Kawhi, like how he's doing with Toronto. Like it's been cool. Hopefully somebody can knock off Golden State.
I mean, like, since you're speaking about basketball, like, because, like, I'm all about South Africa, man, you know? So, like, do you think, like, the basketball in South Africa, the scene, like, would it get to that point?
I think it's growing, man. Because you know the thing about basketball, what's dope about basketball, and what basketball has that really no other sport in the world has, and that is the culture.
Yeah.
And when I say that, man, like, and who are we checking on Instagram in the South African soccer league, man? Ain't nobody, man. We ain't checking out their style. There ain't like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nobody trend setting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in European soccer, maybe to a certain extent, you've got, you know, your Ronaldos, you know. Like nobody's checking to see what Messi's wearing, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't about that, man. Like if you look at the NBA, like these are all cultural icons, man. They hanging out with rappers trying to be like them. Like LeBron's executive producing for 2 Chainz' album, man. Like Russell Westbrook is like a fashion icon. Like these are all big things. The way that they influence culture is so big, you know. So that's the way I look at it in South Africa. Like people are gonna check it in that sense, man. NBA is gonna influence culture, especially hip hop culture, even in South Africa.
Yeah.
But in the sense of the sport itself, it'll grow, but it's gonna be limited, man. South Africans are short. It's a tall man's game.
And I like what you say that. South Africa.
Short.
Yeah, we're too short, man. Like
It's a tall man's game, man.
The people from Western Africa.
The West
man.
Africans, man. That's.
But like I think it's growing because like checking the BT events that they've been hosting,
Yeah.
like yearly and yearly, like it's growing. Even
No
like,
doubt. But you know what's changed as well, man? So I used to live overseas for a long time, and for a while I stopped watching the NBA. But it's like the main reason was when I lived in Japan, I lived in Europe, you couldn't watch a game. You get maybe 1 game a week on TV. You'd have to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it, and that was it, you know? Like now with the internet, and now we all got fiber and it's streaming, man. I can go to Reddit or even NBA Africa's streaming games on YouTube right now. So I can wake up, I can stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock, check any game I want to check. And now in the morning, what's dope is there's a couple sites that do highlights, 10-minute highlights.
Yeah.
So you can watch a 10-minute recap of every game in the NBA from the night before. So if I don't catch a game, I'll wake up in the morning while I'm still in bed, watch maybe 3 10-minute highlights of all the teams that I want to see, and then I'm up to date. I know everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, 1 game a week maybe, and that was only like the big stars. You didn't know what was going on in the league. You know? Now you know.
And you know, like I just thought about something right now because I was thinking about Sports Center, and it seems like I'm not sure, like here in South Africa we're trying like Super Sport, like when there's football, like they like to speak about the statistics and all of that.
Yeah.
But that's the way they're so charged about stats. It's so phenomenal. Even like you start finding Kevin Harden is there, and then but there's this guy with the afro that who always talks a lot.
In the NBA.
Yeah.
What team?
No, like he's one of the sportscasters.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coach was that guy.
Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, like from those.
Yeah.
Man, but you know, but the way that like sports shows, you have to also remember, man, in America everything's done bigger and louder. You know what I'm saying? So you get these crazy personalities.
Yeah.
You know, it's like encouraged, and especially when it comes to sports. And you know, for me, ESPN is like the premier in terms of the way that a sports channel should be run. All the presenters are funny, the scripts are good, everything is good. They even had, back in the day when I was growing up, they had a reality show for Sports Center where they would pick the next presenter, and it was called Your Dream Job. Because every man in America who loved sports all watched Sports Center, and everybody was like, yo, I'd love to be a presenter on Sports Center. So they had a whole reality show to get a new presenter on it because it's such an iconic SportsCenter is such an iconic show in America.
And I think that's why even hip hop, why it's not that like I remember when you said when you perform sometimes like you go to certain clubs or sometimes you can play the same track as the, because like here this side like hip hop, the culture, we love hip hop, but it's not in the context like that side like there's a lot of nitty-gritties that they look at, but this side is more about, you know, let's bomb. Let's bomb. And do you think we also need that type of vibe, like for us to understand the culture in terms of...
I think it helps, man. Like, in America, I cannot play a song that the dude played before me. And even worse, I can't, if I'm booked for an early set, I can't go in there and play all the bangers. If I'm booked at 11 o'clock, I can't go play at 10 o'clock. I can't play all the bangers, man. I can't be playing like whatever's hot, like, you know. Then, because the DJ after me will be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You burning all the songs because people don't play. So people understand the culture of DJing. So the 9 o'clock guys playing like a build up. The 10 o'clock plays like a little bit heavier. 11 o'clock is like the old school. Then from 12 on, that's when the bangers start coming in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a culture. Here, that culture of DJing like isn't really like that, man. The 9 o'clock guy is just playing. The club will be empty, and he's playing the hottest shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it is because people like, you know, they just practice in their bedrooms. There's no culture. People aren't like, yo, you can get smacked up in America as a DJ. It's called burn. If you burn the burning of the DJs after you by playing all the hot shit, like you'll get blackballed.
So like I want to know like the tutorial you dropped.
Yeah,
about like teaching people how to play around. Like what was like the motive behind it? Was it like because like what you're saying that a lot of people don't, you know, doing it in their back rooms and they don't have like a...
it was. That was one thing. And the other thing is like, because DJing has become more, people, it's easier, you know, to get to now. Back in the day it was difficult because the equipment was expensive. Like now anybody can do it. So we wanted to have like something that you could check out. And even if you're going to practice from home, you can still kind of learn some things. But the other thing was, you know what we really want to do? We want to be the first. And that's one of the things that I try and be for a lot of stuff. And that is, you know that song that Ray J made about Kim Kardashian back in the day? I hit it first. I'm trying to be that, man. Like in the industry, you want to be that. So the way that we look at things even from the venues that we do. So when we did Sir from Top Dog, we did it at Victoria Yards. We were the first ones to do something at Victoria Yards. When we brought Cool out to Joburg, we did it at Kitchener's. We were the first ones to do something at Kitchener's, hip hop at Kitchener's. And then everybody else started doing it. So we trying to be on that Ray J, I hit it first type of shit. You know what I'm saying? All the venues we do, like we might eventually go to something that someone else has done before, but we really scout hard to whenever we do something big, we want it to be something, we want to be the first ones to do it. So with the DJ tutorial, we're like, you know what, there's no DJ tutorial in Africa. You know what I'm saying? There's ones from the UK, there's a dude named, what was his name? I can't remember his name. Yo, I watched his shit growing up. It escapes me right now. And then in America, Q-Bird did some. A few other people did some. But we're like, no one's made an African one in Africa before. So we're like, yo, let's be the first ones to do it. So we got Microsoft on. We got Play on to sponsor it. And then we shot it and put it out. And the thing was like, you know, the execution was good in a sense that we made a nice video. But in terms of the rollout and selling it, you know, we didn't do a great job on that. I mean, we made an impact, but not as much as we wanted to. But at the same time, that was also a time we didn't really execute the digital side. We only had hard copies of DVDs. What we need to do, maybe we can even still do it, is put it out on YouTube and stuff like that. But that's what we need to do, because nobody's getting DVDs no more, man.
And I can pick you up on the I hit it first thing, because like you're one of like the first South African DJs to tour you, hip-hop DJ to tour in Europe.
Yeah, but that's another thing that, that was a conscious decision. It was like, I compare it to like Uber. You know, when Uber came, all the meter drivers are like, oh, fuck, what are we gonna do? Yeah. So my thing was like, now there's all these DJs. I can't be like a meter taxi guy. I can't sit here and complain because technology don't wait for your ass. You know what I'm saying? These kids that are just DJing on PC DJ, they're not going to be like, you know what, Akio, let me not take this booking because you were here first. It don't work like that, man. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to be like the metered cab drivers, hang outside of Bromfontein in front of Kitchener's, and then just me and these other old school DJs just fuck up all these kids. I can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. How do I adjust? How do I survive? And one of the things I was like, you know what's nobody doing? I was like, no one's DJing in Europe. No one's touring in Europe. I want to be that guy. So I invested first 3 years. I lost like 30,000-40,000 just to make sure that I did it. But at the same time, you know, I have my peers who were spending 30,000-40,000 a year at Sway during those days, you know, drinking bottles. So I was like, yo, let me rather invest this. So took L's. But the thing is, what people don't know is Black Coffee did the same thing, man. When he was touring, before he made it big, he was out there breaking even. You know what I'm saying? Losing money on these tours, but he's establishing his name. So 2 years ago was the first year I broke even in Europe. Last year was the first year I made money. You know, and this year I'm going to make money, hopefully. But that's the point, is I was like, all right, cool. The stuff that I'm doing there is good for Europe, but it's raising the profile of my brand in South Africa even more. And that's the way you got to do it. What are you going to do that's different than everybody else, you know?
Tell us about you breaking in Africa. What do you think the challenges you could face, supposedly?
You know, one of the things about, like, I played in the Ivory Coast last year. I'm supposed to play in Angola on the 8th of June, trying to get something going in Nairobi, Kigali as well, a few other places. One of the biggest challenges is, like, the cost of travel between all these different places and how big Africa is, you know? Like, in Europe, everything's so cheap to get to, you know what I'm saying? And when you travel in that, South Africa is different, man. South Africa is like that borderline between first world and third world. While a lot of Africa is not like that. So there's no, like, middle ground. When you travel to some places, you're either staying at the nicest spot, which is hella expensive, or you staying, like, in a shithole, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, really dingy. And even, you know, so there's no middle ground. So it's so touring in Africa is expensive. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing that I'm trying to find, is like trying to figure out a circuit to make it work that you can make money off of and still do it. But I'm gonna, I got plans to travel all over Africa and play. And it's the same thing, man. If I want to establish something 2-3 years down the line, if I got to take an L now and again, I'll do it, man. Like, if I got to cover my own costs, lose a bit of money, but, like, yo, expand the base in Nairobi, fuck it, I'll do it, man.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Do you, I want to know, like, just this question, like, do you meditate or smoke weed?
I smoke weed.
You smoke weed?
I do. A bit less than I used to, but I used to be heavy into it, but I still smoke. But yeah, I'm a pretty chilled, calm dude in general, man. I wouldn't mind getting into meditation. I know some people that are into it, and they say it's great for them, you know. But
like Vanessa.
Yeah, she's big into it. But also, you know, it'd be good to do.
Yeah, man. Like, anything coming for?
Man, I've got next week I'm playing Saturday La Santa Muerte. I think Friday at Sumo, and then after that doing Feel Good series. And then after that, so I'm bringing this dude from America, from Los Angeles. His name is Austin Mills. Like, I don't know if y'all know him, but I'm going to send y'all some shit. But he's an MPC remix dude, and he's crazy. So we're doing Enter the Woods for Jägermeister June 1st. It's a Saturday. I'm curating the music lineup for that, so he's my featured artist. And then I'm taking him to Cape Town on May 31st to do a show that side as well. And then, then the following weekend I'm in Angola, then back in South Africa for a week. And then in June, I'm going to America to do some shows in New York, LA, Austin, and Nashville. Come back for a week, and then I'm doing my Europe tour. So if y'all don't see me in the next couple of weeks, you won't see me till September.
Shut out. Shut out.
But that's how, I'm not trying to spend winter. I'm a real bitch when it comes to cold weather. I'm trying to be out. Yeah, I'm trying to be out of here, man. Y'all can get cold without me.
I was also telling my homies that, yo, you gotta be rich before June, I feel. So, like, you gotta run away from South Africa.
Project June.
Yeah.
And speaking about warm climates, like I heard you had an experience in Thailand. Yeah.
Well, man, so South Africa banned me, man. They when I left to go there, the Home Affairs fucked up some shit. Anyways, long story short, they made an error and they said that I overstayed my visa and they banned me for 5 years. So I was stuck out in Thailand and just like I was there to gig, but then like now all of a sudden I got to stay longer because I can't come home.
For how long?
I was there for 3 weeks, and then from there I couldn't come back here, so I had to just book one-way tickets. I flew to LA, then flew to Austin, then flew to Nashville, then flew to New York, and then by then I had to get a lawyer to sort out my shit, and I could come back. But it was dope, man. Like, Bangkok is like, I love it, man. Y'all should go, because you don't need a visa if you're South African to go. And the rand is like pretty on par with the baht. So it's not like when you go to Europe or America and you're just getting killed on the exchange. You go to Thailand, you're good. Like, the only thing that's more expensive there than here is alcohol. Everything else, food, everything else is same, man. So you're not, you don't have to save up that much money, and it's dope, man. It's cool. Like it's safe, and what I love about it is it's like in this tropical climate, so life is on the streets. You're rarely inside. Like, it's all food vendors. You're sitting outside and eating. People are walking on the streets, hanging out, drinking on the streets. Everything is outdoors, and I love that about being in a place. You know, it's like that when I was in the Ivory Coast, you know, because it's near the equator. But it's like, it's dope when life is out on the streets, and what makes Thailand cool is like man, you never looking. You're not worried about crime. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
gonna be fucking with you, man. Like, it's safe. Yeah.
And speaking about fucking, like, is it one of those places where the transgender people, like, they really look like ladies?
Yeah, they do.
So, like, FYI, yeah. And
So, even if, like, I mean, like, but like, they gotta tell you. Like, do they tell you?
no.
I mean, do they become honest?
It's like,
and,
like Jerry Springer type of vibes and so on.
I think, man, you can ask, man. You'll be alright.
but like, isn't that offensive? Like, are you transgender?
Nah, for me, man, I'm like accepting of everybody. You know, like like people like transgender, like if you're gay, or whatever, man. Like for me, I almost to a certain extent applaud. Like if you can be you,
Yeah,
I
that's
applaud
just
it, man. Because there's nothing worse in life than like not being able to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I grew up like that growing up. Like, man, I was like, when I was growing up, I was like ashamed to be an Asian, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was me and 2 other kids in the whole town. So I just didn't want to be Asian. Then eventually when I was just like, yo, I'm going to be the most Asian motherfucker out there. So I see that with gay people, whatever, like, you know, they spend their whole life hiding who they are. And then once they're out, they mad flamboyant. So I'm just like, you know what, man? Be you. You spent 18, 20 years trying to hide, like conform to like every, what everybody says. And now you're just going to go live your best life. So that's how I am, man. I'm like, yo, you shouldn't have to hide who you
You're
are.
not judgmental. You just
Nah,
open-minded
man.
about it.
Yeah, man. I'm cool with everybody.
Because with the music selection, you're not just like playing hip hop. You're mixing from jazz to
A lot of stuff,
alternative
man.
and
Yeah, man. I like the future beat stuff, and I'm really into Afro beats too, man. Like the Afro beat, like the West African shit is like dope, you know. And then even starting to get into Caribbean stuff a little bit, more of the dance hall, like yeah. But it's cool. It's just being like, again, man. That allows you to be diverse. That allows you to, when you roll up to a spot, and
fucks you up.
yeah. But the thing is, like, for me, I don't stress. Like, there'll be times when a DJ will come up and they'll say to me, they're like, they point to the DJ that's playing before us and be like, man, this guy's fucking playing everything.
Yeah.
He's playing all the hits.
Nice.
Me, I'm like, yo, play everything. I don't care. I got more shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that you and the guy before you can play all the shit where I'm gonna be like, I've got nothing. I've got so much music, man.
Have you checked out DJ Duop's sets?
I mean, Doo-Wop's my homegirl, man. So I've checked out her shit. Yeah, I saw her at Sunday Edition a couple weeks ago.
Oh
cool.
yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, she was there. She dropped like a nice mix of like Kwaito and like a little bit of hip hop, and then like also like the dubstep stuff that she does. But she's cool, man. I like Doo-Wop. Yeah.
You know, talking about Caribbean, you know.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that makes me want to go to be a DJ is to go play in Jamaica.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Like, people dance there. Like they literally
crazy.
like they bounce each other.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yo, the
Like,
Jamaicans
this
get
is
down, man. Yo, they get down. Yeah.
You know, that's why Akon got into so much shenanigans.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, and the DJ be playing there
Real-
like zing zing boom, zing zing boom.
Yeah.
The girls there just like.
But you see that in New York too, because like in New York, there's a lot of Caribbean population people, a lot of Jamaicans and stuff like that. So you go to the parties there, yeah. So when you play, man, it's like a lot of people of Jamaican heritage. So you play like the soca, and the dance hall. Man, just best is like Akio, man. I'm most active on Instagram. If you hit me up on Facebook's cool too, but on Instagram, it's my name, Akio Kawaito. I know it's like, it sounds messed up, but it actually spelled the way it sounds. Akio _Kawaito. Even if you just put Akio, AKIO, I should be the first one that comes up. You know, I've been trying, like, I've got this team, and I got like a creative side on the team, and he's been trying to like, one of the objectives we had is we're like, how can we shorten my name on Instagram so that it's easier? But we can't, everything's taken, man. Akio1, DJ Akio, you know, all these things are taken. So I'm trying to find a way to shorten it. But as of now, it's Akio _Kawaito, just my name. But you just put in Akio, AKIO, it'll come up.
And DJ ID, what? Oh.
You know, for me, it's just like, man, I had 2 brands in itself, man. I had DJ ID, and then just everybody on the streets knew me as Akio. So I was like, you know what, let me consolidate it. And at the same time, there's a dude from Kai FM, DJ 1D. You know him, 1D Legs, who started Luxion Culture, and he's on Kai FM. It's 1D. And people were just confusing us all the time, man. He would get props for my sets, I'd get props for his sets. So I was like, you know what, man? So many people know me as Akio anyways. Let me just let him have that, and then I'm just going to go by Akio, so then I can just consolidate everything behind my name. So.
And the good thing is that you got the Steve Aoki vibe. So like Steve Aoki, like in EDM, he's the only Asian.
No doubt.
So and also you hip hop, like mainstream, you're the only one.
It works everywhere except when I go to Japan, because in Japan Akio's like not an uncommon name. So now it'd be like here, you know, like DJ Steve. Like, okay, cool.
That's my new
yeah. You know, so yeah, it's the only time it's in Japan. Outside of that, I'm straight. Anywhere else in the world, I'm cool.
But shout out for putting through, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Like,
Hello. People, keep on hitting us up, man. Until like, here's a passion pushing experience down every morning between 3 and 5 o'clock down. Official Measure World for the young people down, for amazing down. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, podcast studios essay down. Better know, better realize, man. Mr. 11.
Yo, Doc. You know what, Fitz? It was another jam-packed show. We're not done yet, but then like we gotta wrap things up with Mr. Akio. And like yo, Fitz, I have no words. I've learned so much. I hope y'all listening at home been learning so much about him and so much about life. You know, just like pushing your passion. You know, just the pushing experience. You know, so like this is where we bring all these people, not just for you to listen, but like to learn and take something. I hope you took something. I took something for myself. I'm like,
I appreciate it,
it's
guys,
always
man.
a weird thing, man.
Yeah.
Like shout out to DJ Akio.
The only thing is left is we wanna bump and cool out ourselves.
Yeah.
And cool out that way.
Can we